This is my best summer so far. Like I can tell the progress is just incredible. I feel better. I look stronger. The scale says I'm heavier. Everything is a green light.
That right there, that's the face of a man every team in the NBA should fear. Because after a devastating, season-ending injury in just his second year, one he described as life-changing, something in him shifted.
It's life-changing. In the long run, I think it's going to be very beneficial because even though I don't wish it on nobody, then lessons that nothing else could have made you understand.
That right there is a man the entire NBA should be nervous about. Because after a brutal, season-ending injury in just his second year, one he described as life-changing, Victor Wembanyama looks ready to unleash something completely different. And from what we've seen in his interviews and those jaw-dropping preseason clips, year 3 might just be the turning point. This isn't the same Wemby the league thought it knew. If he takes that next leap, we're not just talking about an all-star, not just all-NBA. We're talking MVP level. Yes, MVP. People forget, before that injury last season, Wembanyama was already evolving into one of the best players in basketball. Early in the year, critics were wondering if the hype was too big, if he really had the offensive game to match his defensive brilliance. One scout even said, "He's amazing on defense but barely impactful on offense, like his playing without direction." But then something clicked. Over the next 36 games, Wembanyama averaged 26 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists, while casually knocking down 3.5 threes per game at 37%. And these weren't simple catch-and-shoot threes. At 7'3", he was hitting step-backs, pull-ups, logo-range shots, plays that defied logic. He wasn't just tall anymore, he was terrifying.
This is a heat check. You gotta be kidding.
And here's where it gets wild. Do you know how many players averaged at least 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists per game last season? Just 2, Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo, both top 3 MVP finalists. Now, let's take it up a notch. How many players in NBA history have ever averaged 25 points, 10 rebounds, and nearly 4 blocks in a single season? We're talking about names like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, and David Robinson. All legends, all MVP caliber forces in their primes. And guess what? Those numbers, the ones that put Wembanyama in that company, came from last season. Now, he's saying he's stronger, smarter, heavier, more locked in. After an off-season focused entirely on recovery and growth, that should scare every front office in the league. This isn't hype. This is a warning. And I know what some people will ask. If Wemby was that good, why were the Spurs so bad? How'd they end up with the 2nd overall pick and Dylan Harper? 2 reasons. First, he got injured. Second, even when healthy, he can't play 48 minutes a night. During the stretch when he was active, the Spurs were plus 120 in his minutes. Their net rating was plus 3, which would have ranked around 11th in the league, powered by a top 10 defense and a solid offense. In short, when Victor Wembanyama was on the floor, the Spurs looked like a playoff-caliber team. But when he sat, everything fell apart. And that's what really tells the story. His impact wasn't just big, it was transformational. This is exactly why Wembanyama was on track to win Defensive Player of the Year, even with the Spurs nowhere near a playoff spot. Because make no mistake, he was the entire reason San Antonio looked competent on defense at all. When he played, they were solid. When he sat, they collapsed to Utah Jazz levels of bad. That's how massive his impact was. He owe their credit. The Spurs addressed part of that issue this offseason by bringing in Luke Kornet as a backup big, someone who can at least stabilize things when Wemby rests. But let's stay real. The defensive revolution in San Antonio still starts and ends with Victor Wembanyama. And what's scary is, he's not even a finished product yet. Despite that, he's already the most valuable defender in basketball, because he's doing things no one in the league has ever done. Just look at this play. He starts by defending a Maxi Drummond pick and roll, somehow reaches midi to strip the ball right out of Drummond's hands, then immediately recovers as the Sixers keep it inbounds. Next, he steps up to cut off Lowry's drive, then rotates all the way back to the rim and blocks Drummond again, all in one sequence. That's not just defense, that's chaos control. He's covering the entire court like a one-man zone. And if this is what he's doing now, imagine what he'll look like once he's truly in his prime. There are certain things you're just not supposed to be able to do on an NBA court. But Victor Wembanyama keeps doing them anyway, like guarding the paint against a driving guard, then somehow sprinting out to the corner and swallowing up a Jerami Grant three-pointer as if he teleported there. Or how about blocking a Kyle Lowry jumper, then recovering in seconds to swat Caleb Martin's follow-up shot from behind? These aren't highlight plays, they are just Wemby being Wemby. You could spend half an hour watching clips of him and still be amazed. Players drive into the lane, see him waiting, and instantly retreat because they know what's coming. He's not just protecting the rim, he's changing the way teams even think about attacking. That's how dominant he already is defensively. And here's the scary part. He's still only entering his 3rd year. He's already the best defender in basketball, yet there's so much room left to grow. Sure, he can get a little overzealous. With his instincts and wingspan, he jumps at a lot of shots, and honestly, who wouldn't, knowing you can block nearly anything? But sometimes, just staying grounded would be just as effective, because his mere presence at the rim forces panic. He's also still learning how to handle physical matchups against the league's elite big men, guys like Embiid, Giannis, and Jokic. Those are battles that test strength, timing, and experience. But with the way Wembanyama adapts and improves, it's only a matter of time before even they have no answers left. And let's be honest, nobody in the league can truly stop Embiid, Giannis, or Jokic. So expecting Victor to do it alone isn't fair. But with more strength and experience, Wembanyama will only get better. We've already seen flashes of that against Jokic, where his length actually disrupted the MVP's flow. Even Jokic himself admitted Victor's improving fast, and that says everything.
I think he's better than this year than last year, and I think he's going to get even better. And one of the is going to be remembered forever.
This season marks the next big step for Wembanyama. We've already seen him go head-to-head with stars like Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid. He's played great in those battles, but they've often been just a little better. If Wemby wants to truly claim the title of best player in the NBA, that has to change. He needs to start winning those matchups, and more importantly, start stacking up wins for the Spurs. And this is where things get interesting. The rest of the league should be paying close attention to what's brewing in San Antonio. Last year, Wemby got a taste of what it's like playing alongside a real floor general in Chris Paul, even at 40 years old. The difference was clear. Now, the Spurs have gone a step further. They are pairing Wemby with De'Aaron Fox, not just a good point guard, but a proven all-star talent. Fox might be dealing with a minor hamstring issue right now, but don't overlook what this duo could become. We've seen what Fox can do. With the Kings, he and Sabonis led back-to-back 50-win level seasons. He put up 25 points and 6 assists a night, delivered clutch buckets, and made his big man shine with perfect timing and vision. If he brings that same energy to San Antonio, the Wemby-Fox partnership could be something the NBA isn't ready for. So now, De'Aaron Fox has Wembanyama next to him, and that's a scary sight for the rest of the league. Fox finally gets a partner who can do it all: catch lobs, roll to the rim, stretch the floor, and hit threes with ease. And that last part, that's where things get crazy. Last season, Wemby averaged more than 3 made three-pointers per game, the most ever by a center in NBA history. His shooting completely reshapes the floor. It gives Fox, Castle, and Harper all the space they need to attack, and it even opens up more options for Wemby himself. Look at plays like these. Defenders have to step out high to respect his jumper, and that gives him a clear lane straight to the basket. One quick hesitation, and his defender's frozen. With the paint wide open, he's free to drive, spin, or float it in. And here's where it gets exciting. Wemby's been working with Hakeem Olajuwon. His added muscle, refined his footwork, and focused on playing stronger inside. If he starts posting up more, using that length and touch for hook shots and fadeaways, it's over for most defenders. The possibilities on offense are endless. More pick and rolls with multiple guards in rotation, more pull-up threes, maybe even Wemby handling the ball himself in inverted pick and rolls. Imagine Point Wemby running the show. And remember, he already averaged 25 points a game last season, mostly off threes, lobs, transition plays, and shots near the rim. So if he adds even 1 or 2 more layers to his game, the league's in trouble. Now, here's the key. If San Antonio can simply hold things together during those minutes when Wemby's on the bench, the numbers say they are already a playoff team. And that's without counting Fox, a more polished Stephen Castle, Dylan Harper's growth, or Jeremy Sochan's continued rise. You see where this is going. The Spurs are trending way up, and Wemby is putting the entire NBA on notice. And speaking of players flying under the radar, Jeremy Sochan might be the hidden gem of this roster. If you want to hear my thoughts on him, click right here. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. The Spurs' future is coming fast.